Tell us about how you get Boyhood off the ground and what those conversations are.
You know, the commitment was there from IFC, which was, you know, super great, but it wasn't a huge amount of money. You know, we had a $200,000 budget every year that never increased. You know, I mean, that was, I think, for us, from a production standpoint, like our biggest challenge was, you know, just keeping that
You
going.
made that film over, what, 12 years?
12 years, yeah.
What was the biggest surprise in that whole process?
Finishing. Actually, it's funny. I mean, it was kind of a surprise. When we finished, we kind of looked up and went, oh my gosh, we're done? This is going to be it.
And did you edit it as you went along, or
yeah,
did you? Okay.
It was edited. Sandra Adair was the editor on it, and it was being edited. So you had this really, unique way of making a project, because he did an edit every year, and then he would occasionally go back and just look at the overall of where it was so far and do another re-edit. And so that process, he had a lot of time in between, like that luxury of time of being able to think about it, you know, as we went along. From a production standpoint, it's not like you're handed one script and said, okay, let's you know, line this out and let's get this done and we're gonna go in. It was sort of like, hey, next year, what's the scenario gonna be? And, you know, everything was in Rick's head.
Were there set times every 2 years to shoot?
That was just another scheduling, you know, issue, another unique thing, which was, you know, trying to get everybody to come together.
Because Patricia's on a show.
Patricia was on Medium. You know, Rick had other films in between. Ethan was going off and doing tons of projects in theater and all of this. The kids were the easiest thing, because they were just kids and they were growing up, and, you know, they didn't have much going on. So it was like, hey, you know, we're going to do this. We were even looking for a title, you know, because in the beginning we really weren't sure what our title was going to be. It was hard to come.
Did you have different titles along the way?
We were always called the Untitled 12-Year Project, which is funny because at the very end we're sitting around the kitchen table and we're all trying to come up with a name, you know, the new title, and
12 years.
And we said 12 years, and we were like, yeah, 12 years. We could do 12 years. And I pulled out my iPhone and I was like, well, I don't know. There's some movie called 12 Years a Slave that's in, you know, in production. So that took that away.
What else did you think of as titles?
We really wanted a word that sort of was like familyhood, that sort of encompassed the whole thing. But the film is shot from Mason's perspective, so, you know, we thought about something like It's Always Right Now, or, you know, something a little more ethereal like the character. But Boyhood just kept coming back, and I hope it's a good title.
It's a wonderful title. It tells you everything you need to know.
Do you think it could really affect a kid's life? Did you think about that and talk about it?
About Ellar and Lorelei. I mean, Lorelei was sort of used to the business.
Because she's Richard
Linklater's daughter, and she's traveled and, you know, been around it all. But, you know, Ellar was just so young, and his parents are, you know, they're artists. The thing about Ellar was, that was one of the things that I really thought about a lot, was, you know, that as we got further into this process.
Plays the central character.
He plays the central character, and, you know, just letting him be a kid. I mean, he came to work for 1 or 2 weeks a year, and then he went back to his life, and in some way, you know, a lot of reporters had asked, like, well, how was Ellar affecting the film? And I started thinking about it. I was like, well, how are we affecting Ellar? Like, how did being in the film and being around us and sort of in that environment, and then going back to his real life, how was that forming him as he grew up? And we created like pretty much a family environment. It was the same people coming back year after year.
It feels that way when you watch the film.
Exactly.
It feels that way.
Yeah, and you know, and it was kind of like summer camp for everyone. You know, that we all got together and we got to do another round of it, and crew always wanted to come back.
How many, like, small crew, right?
Yeah, we had a small crew. Probably our lunch counts were 45 a day. You know, I mean, yeah, you know.
Like on Titanic.
I mean, we obviously had a huge CG department. I mean, as you can see.